Ladies and gentlemen, why do you think Azimio governors are boycotting Raila Odinga's events in their counties? That is one question which is really bothering Raila Odinga and his brigades. Because if you've been following the politics of this country very closely, yesterday Raila Odinga was in Trans Nzoia. The governor, George Natembeya, was missing. George Natembeya really benefited from the Azimio campaigns. The previous day, Raila Odinga was in Vihiga County. The governor, Wilberforce Otichilo, was also missing in action. Previously, Raila Odinga was in Busia, which is one of his strongholds in the larger lawyer politics. But the governor, Paul Otuoma, was missing in action. Previously, Raila Odinga was in Machakos County, where Wavinya Ndeti was missing. He went to Nyamira, the governor was missing, and of course he was in Kisii, and in Kisii, the governor Simbarati was present, and of course he was present because the ground forced him to turn up. In Kakamega, the governor, Fernandez Baraza, was present. Of course, it's understandable because Baraza has one of the best political advisors who is advising him. But governors who were elected on Azimio are clearly boycotting Raila Odinga's events. I'll be keenly following the events, how the governor from Mombasa, for example, will treat Azimio rally in that county, because the governor is also not very steadfast in his moves with Ruto and Raila. And I also remember the governor for Makwiny, Mutula Kilonzo Jr., was very clear that for him, he has no time for Azimio rallies. Why do you think the governors are boycotting Raila Odinga's events? In this video, I want us to look at the real reasons why these governors are boycotting Raila Odinga's events in their counties. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, I want you guys to take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is now. Let us get back to the main issue, and I'm going to share the link there for smart data analytics. Check out the programs which they have, which is actually going to be beneficial to you guys. Now, why do you think Azimio governors are boycotting Raila Odinga's people's consultative meetings in their counties? For me, number one, is because of William Ruto's charm offensive on these governors. You know, when William Ruto became the president of the Republic of Kenya after the Supreme Court ruling, he was dealing with the legitimacy issues. The first thing he did was to win the support of independent candidates to his side, because he wanted to take control of parliament perceptionally. Then he started targeting specific members of parliament, senators. But William Ruto then focused his attention on governors. William Ruto understands Raila Odinga's politics, that in 2013 to 2022, Raila Odinga's politics at the county levels were actually based on governors. So he came up with a strategy of reaching out to these governors with a view of crippling Raila Odinga's politics at the counties. For example, in between 2013 and 2017, Raila Odinga had governor for Turkana. So anytime there were events, political events in Turkana, he would always deal with the governor. And the governor was given the leeway to control party affairs in that county. If you go to Kilifi, the same. Amos Kingi was the ODM chairperson for Kilifi. So Raila Odinga would always just incorporate his events through the governors. Mombasa, you would do the same all over, wherever he had governors. That's exactly what Raila Odinga would do. So when Ruto became the president, he decided that he wanted to deal with Raila Odinga. And the only way to deal with Raila Odinga was not through the members of parliament, but through the governors. Sadly for him, Raila Odinga is still able to even go to these counties and meet with the people even without the governors' involvement. But strategically, William Ruto wanted to cripple Raila Odinga by reaching out to governors. For example, when Arati met with Ruto and they pledged to work together, personally, I thought that it was going to be very difficult for Raila Odinga to organize a rally in Kisii, because Raila Odinga had a mission why he brought Arati all the way from Nairobi to Kisii. And he even risked some of his close allies from Kisii, like the former governor Ongwae Janet Ongera, who left because of Arati. So William Ruto wanted a way of reaching out to these governors early enough so that he could lock Raila Odinga from operating with them. So that's number one. Number two, these governors are also boycotting these rallies because of fear. The governors fear that the state will sabotage them or will sabotage some of their development projects. You see, William Ruto is a very strategic politician. And being a student of Moi, he understands the politics of development. Sorry, I had to go and deal with that kuku. Now, I was saying that William Ruto is a student of Moi. And as a student of Moi, he understands that maisha siasa mbaya, maisha mbaya. That's why they're really frustrating those who voted for Azimio. So some of these governors are in fear that the state might actually sabotage some of their development agenda. If you go to Kisii, for example, one of the reasons Arati gave was that he wanted Ruto and the government to accept some projects to be brought down there. So most of these governors have proposals. They have programs which are supposed to take place in their counties. Some of those projects actually needs approvals from the head of state or from the central government. So if you are not in terms with Ruto, he can easily sabotage the projects. And this is one thing which is making some of these governors to want to work with him. So you get into office as a governor, you figure out that in the next 3 years, I want to do this. Then after that, I'll begin my politics. Then I have this project, which if is well implemented, can give me advantage over my competitors in 2027. Then you realize that you can't implement that project because you need the support of the deep state. Or if you attempt to do it, they will really frustrate you. So the best thing for you is to work with the government so that they don't frustrate those projects. So basically, some of these governors are working with Ruto because of the fear that the government might frustrate some of their development projects. I remember Mutula Kilonzo Jr. at some point was like, there's a project he wants to be brought to his county, he needed the government, things like those. So basically, that fear. Number three, why these governors are not joining Raila Odinga is because it's still too early. The governors, most of these governors, spent lots of money to campaign. The truth of the matter is that for you to campaign as a governor of a county, you must have resources. Some of these people even sold some of their houses, retirement homes, to win the seats. Then immediately after winning the seat, then Raila Odinga and his team comes to you that they want you to engage them in politics. They want you to support their campaigns. They want you to participate in politics. They will not allow because money is not there. You see, for example, once a rally is called for example, let's say in Kisumu here, and the governor is part of it, there's a chance that the governor will have to mobilize his supporters in court from across the county, which is very big in terms of costing. So to avoid those costs, what these governors are telling Raila Odinga is that it is still too early for us. We will join you later, but for now, let us work, let us make some money, let us recoup whatever we use to campaign. When the right time comes, then we'll probably join you. That is exactly what is happening, because I talked to some of their handlers and they're telling me, you know, Lee, my governor is not coming here because of this, and the campaign is still too early. You know, they'll still be expected to spend money. Don't be cheated. Even me today, if I were to leave this seat here to go to attend a rally in Busia, I will have to spend money. Previously, I used to attend almost all these rallies. Nobody was paying me. I would just use my money, or we'll just organize ourselves in a group. Sometimes we'll occasionally get a few guys here coming in, but in most cases, you have to spend money. So politics is one of the biggest investments. So most of these governors, after campaigns are broke, they will not want a situation where they are subjected to campaigns again. They would rather spend the first 3 years developing the county, making a bit of deals here and there, because if they start fighting the government today, now, then the government will focus on them. So that even if they had planned to sneak some money through some budgetary allocations, they'll be flagged off. And number 4 is 2027 politics. There's a group of governors in this country who strongly believes that in 2027, Raila Odinga might not be a factor. That Raila Odinga might not really influence their re-election, and that their re-election will be pegged on performance. There's a group of governors who believe so. And these are the governors who will work with Ruto. After 3 years, they'll realize that Raila Odinga is there, he's a factor, then they'll try and make a comeback. But if you talk to some people, they will tell you that Raila Odinga is done, dusted, can't make a comeback. He can't influence, like for example, someone like Otuoma believes that he performed as an independent candidate in 2017, and that if as a governor he can deliver, he can be strategic, then it means he will even win the seat without Raila Amolo Odinga as an individual. My advice to people like that is that they'll be shocked. The voters will actually punish them. Will punish them. And lastly, most of these governors are still monitoring the ground. How is the ground receiving Raila Odinga's Barazas? If they are being received so well, then they'll start coming. Like for example, Arati was doing exactly that, monitoring. Then he realized that the crowd was too charged. Then he made that move last minute to attend. I don't know why Otuoma never made the move, but the fact is Busia was also charged. Someone was telling me that Kakamega was good for Raila Odinga. So the governor is riding on that because he understands that without Raila, for example, UDA will still have their guy there as a preferred candidate. And that's my take. I don't know what you think, but for me, those are some of the reasons why I think these governors are boycotting Raila Odinga's Barazas. Thank you, and may you have a good day. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny.